Welcome to our new video, and in this video we're going to talk about matrices. We're going to talk about matrices in this video. If you are new, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that every time when I post a new video, you'll be alerted. So let's go. We're talking about matrices. So what is a matrix? A matrix is an arrangement of elements in rows and columns. So the arrangement of elements in rows and columns, that is what we call a matrix. So a matrix is an arrangement of elements in rows and columns. So for example, if you have got if we have this matrix, so for example we have A, B, C, and D. These are what we call entries. So we can call them entries or we can call them elements. It's one and the same stuff. So if we have got this is what we call a matrix. So we have got we have A here, and then we have got element B, we have got element C, and then we have got element D. So the arrangement of elements in rows. So what are rows? Rows are these numbers which are going this side. So these numbers which are going in this direction, those are what we call rows. So we have got rows, and then we have got also columns. Columns are these coming down. So arranging them in columns, that is columns. So columns coming down. So these are rows and columns. Those are the things that we have. So the fact that we have got rows and columns, this is what we call a matrix. So this is what we call a matrix. Now in matrices, there are things that we're supposed to know in matrices. So when you're talking about a matrix, we have to know first of all how to order a matrix. So you have to know how to order a matrix. So number one, you can just say it's order a matrix. So you have to know how to order a matrix, or when they say ordering a matrix, it simply means naming of matrices. So naming of matrices. And then number two, we are going to talk about also the properties of matrices, which are addition, subtraction, multiplication, multiplying of a matrix by a scalar, which is a constant, also the equal matrices, and also transpose of a matrix, and those stuffs. Those are the things those are the properties of a matrix. And then the other thing that we're going to talk about in the next video or in the other video, we're going to talk about the determinant of a matrix, of a 2x2 matrix. So we're going to talk about the determinant of a 2x2 matrix, how to find the determinant of a 2x2 matrix, also singular matrix, and also how to find the inverse of a matrix, and how to solve the simultaneous equation using matrix method. Those are the things that we're going to talk about under matrices. Now, in this video, we are only going to talk about two things, which are order of a matrix, and also we're going to talk about I think one of the properties, which is one of the properties we're going to talk about. So these are the two things that we're going to talk about. The one of the properties that we're going to talk about also transpose. So this is a property. So we are going to talk about transposing a matrix, how to transpose a matrix. So number one, order of matrix, which is naming of a matrix, and also how to transpose a matrix. These are the two things that we're going to talk about in this video. And in the next video, we're going to talk about other properties as well. So let's start. So this is a matrix. We know that this is a matrix. So this matrix, how do we order a matrix, or how do we give a matrix the name? So we're going to say, for example, we have been given, let me just say, for example, you have been given a matrix, which is, let me say, we have been given A and B. and then we're talking about naming. So we are talking about naming of matrices. That's what you're talking about. Naming of matrices, how to give a matrix its name. So naming of matrices or order of matrices, we call it ordering a matrix. So ordering a matrix, giving a matrix its name. So that's what we're talking about, giving the matrix its name. So number one, when you're giving a matrix its name, you have to know that the name of a matrix is driven or derived from the number of rows and columns it has. I repeat, the name of a matrix is derived from the number of rows and columns it has. That's the reason why we say that is row by column. So we say row by column. So for example, this one that you have been given, how can we name this matrix? So this matrix, we're going to count how many rows it has. So it has got one row. So one row, let me grab that. Okay, so it has got one row, this is one, and then it has got one and then two columns. So it has got one row and two columns. So it simply means it has got one multiplied by two columns. So it's a 1 by 2 matrix. That's how they name. So this is the name of that matrix. So it's a 1, you count 1, there's just one row here and two columns. So it's a 1 by 2 matrix. Okay, let me give another example. Another example, we have got a matrix. Let's say we have got a matrix which is it has got A, and then we have got B, we have got C, and we have D. So that's a matrix that we have. So this matrix, how can we give this matrix its name? If they've said order a matrix or naming of matrices or matrix, so we say one row, two rows. So we have got two rows, and then the columns one, and then we have got another one. So two. So we have got two rows and two columns. So you say it's a 2 by 2 matrix. That's how what we say. So it's a 2 by 2 matrix. So it's a 2 by 2 matrix, that one. Let me give another example. Another example will be, we have got 1, let me use numbers, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. So this is a matrix. I'm using numbers now. So this is a matrix. So these are elements. Remember, everything which is inside the matrix these are elements or entries. So we call them elements or entries. So another example, we say 1, we count the number of rows. 2, we have got 2 rows. 1, 2 rows. And then for the columns, we have got 1, we have 1, 2, and 3. We have got 3 columns. So this matrix, it's a 2 by 3 matrix. So it's a 2 by 3 matrix. That is the name. So that's how we give matrix its name. Let me give another example. So this example, we have got 3 and 2 down. So we have got 3 and 2. How can we name this matrix? So we can name this matrix as 1 row and 2 rows, and a matrix, a column, we just have 1 column. So it's a 2 by 1 matrix. So this is how we give a matrix its name. So that's how we order a matrix. So look out, this is how we order a matrix. We go again move on. So we go to the other one is about transposing a matrix. So the other one is about transposing a matrix, how we transpose a matrix. Okay, I'll give 4 examples. So let me just say how to transpose a matrix. So transposing a matrix. So transposing a matrix, that's what we're talking about. So we're transposing matrix. So how do we transpose a matrix? A transpose of a matrix is one in which the rows of the original matrix has been reversed to columns and the rows to columns. So it has been reversed. So for example, let me give an example. Say this is number 1. So we have got example, we have a matrix is equal to, so we have got 1 inside, 2, then 3, 4. I've got those elements, and then they say find, for example, transpose that matrix. So AT meaning transpose. How are we going to transpose? The first thing is to order the matrix. So we have got 1 row and another row. We have got 2 rows, columns, 1 column. So we have got 2 by 2 matrix. So we have got 2 by 2 matrix. That's what we have. And then the fact that we have got a 2 by 2 matrix, so this number of rows will change to number of columns. Number of columns changes to number of rows. So this is a row, it will change to columns. So we'll say, say so say this is a row, 1 and -3, 0. So change that row, which is 1 and -3. It has become a column. So we have changed this row, it has become a column. And then the other row we change to column. So 2 and 3. But this one won't change. It is still a 2 by 2 matrix. That's how we transpose. Let's talk about example number 2. Example number 2, we have got C, and then this C is equal to we have 1, these are entries, 5 and also 7. These are the entries that we have. So first of all, order the matrix. So we'll say 1, we have got 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, and then columns, only 1. So it's a 3 multiplied by 1. So it's a 3 by 1 matrix. So this one would be a number, this 3 is the number of rows, it will change to number of columns, and this one will change to number of rows. So how can we change that? So we'll say C transpose is equal to, remember this is a row, so it will be a column on its own. This is a row, and then this is another row, it will be a column, and this another row, it will be a column. So it will be like that. So this one, it will change to 1 multiplied by 3. So it's 1 by 3 matrix. It's a 1 by 3 matrix. So that's how we solve it. So it's a 1 by 3 matrix. Okay, we move on for more examples. Example number 3, we are going to have something like this, which is, let's say B is equal to 2, 1, 3, and then 7 here, 1, 3. We have that. And then they have said transpose, so meaning b t to the power t. So it simply means transpose b. So how do we transpose? First of all, we order it. So 1, 2 rows. So it's 2 rows multiplied by 1, 2, 3. 3 columns. So 1 multiplied by 3. It's 1 multiplied, or 2 multiplied by 3, I mean. So it's a 2 by 3 matrix. So when you are transposing it, you will say this row, it will become a column. So it's a 2, 3, 1. So that row has become a column. So this row, the first row has become column, and then the second row also will become a column. So 1, 7, and 3. That's how we transpose. So this one, when you order it, it's a 3 by 2 matrix. That's how we order, that's how we transpose a matrix, I mean. So this is how we transpose a matrix. So it's not very difficult. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that every time when I post a video, you'll be alerted first.